I can't go another day with this on my mind. And I think it's time for a discussion. Why you so hard? Show me that you love me, baby. Why you so hard? Show me that you care. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. That was a lie. Loving you was a mistake. 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 Play me like guitar, baby. You only love me for a reason. Play with my emotion, girl. And I don't wanna be your friend. Play me like guitar, baby. Love I have for you is real, yeah. While you're playing with my heart, babe. Let me tell you how I feel, baby. So many days, so many nights, so many tears. I had to cry. Told me you love me. That was a lie. Loving you was a mistake, baby. Loving you was a mistake. Loving you was a mistake.
You could have let that play it on now. I'm feeling that. That's a vibe. Yes.
Hello, and welcome to the Chatterbox with yours truly, King Jacob. And we are here on Motivational Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Money Mondays. And, the start of a new week, new business, new goals, new relationships, and new residual income. How about that? Yeah. All of that and then some. Okay. And so tonight we have, two special guests. The good doctor, Utrena Johnson, which needs no introduction, and her colleague, Ms. Rosey Houston, with the pink on. She popping, like it's Easter Sunday,
Right on.
That's right. So we're here. So without further ado, I'll let Dr. Utrena introduce herself along with the Honorable Rosey Houston. Will follow up with introducing herself.
What's up? Listen, thank you so much, King Jacob, for allowing us to come on your platform to just share some amazing things about something that's near and dear to our heart. And I cannot wait till we dig in and just see how God navigate this conversation. So I'm ready to chat. Go for it, Rosey.
Well, I am Rosey Houston, born and raised here in Piedmont, South Carolina. So excited to be a part of your show on tonight, Mr. King Jacob. Looking forward to digging in and letting you learn more about us.
All right. So the night's topic, she found her purpose. As I named the topic for the show, it was based on Dr. Johnson. Over the years, we've been friends. We've conversated back and forth. I've seen her go through pain. I've seen her keep her faith strong. And I have seen her also help a lot of people get started with their acting careers. And I just seen her be a vessel, while she's working down here in God's venue. So I wanted to know about the purpose and how did she find her purpose. But I also, as I see y'all spreading so much love through your sorority and going to city, getting the words out there, being community advocates, and getting people to understand that we all have a purpose. And sometimes we have to. Someone else got to dig into you to pull your purpose out of you. So the topic is, she found her purpose. And so if you can be so kind to start it off, Dr. Johnson. So I wanted to know, what is a purpose? How did she find it? And how has she claimed and owned her purpose?
Sure. So for me, owning my purpose, knowing my purpose, understanding my purpose, living on purpose is understanding my why, understanding my course, understanding who I am and why and what I am doing in the now. And for me to start, Ada Alpha Sorority Incorporated is definitely, I always say this when I get an opportunity. It may seem like I found Ada, but I believe Ada found me. We found each other. And I've had relationships, right? So I don't want to take away from the amazing, beautiful women that I've had an opportunity to share my life with over the years. But there is something significantly distinguished about this sisterhood. It is, and it's been vetted. The honeymoon stage, all of that. I know somebody out there can relate. When you get in a relationship and it's going good, and things are going so good, you're wondering in the back of your head, okay, when that first argument come in, when the shoe's gonna drop, when is the real, when that thing is gonna come that's gonna break your heart and just, and it's gonna crash, right? But I can honestly say that there have been many, many triumphs, right? And even in our trials, because when you're serving the people of God, when you're serving community, when you're out there being activists, things get tough. When you come into a room of different individuals who, again, have their purpose, right? I've learned that you have to bend, right? You have to compromise. And it's grown me in so many different ways. So the shoe that maybe the expectation was to fall and make me quit, the hard times didn't make me want to quit. It made me want to dig in deeper. It made me want to love harder. It made me want to see this thing through and get to a place where we're smiling and laughing again. And that is what I love about our sisterhood. It's a genuine gift. And I know that it came at a difficult time for me because it came soon after I had lost my son, right? And so I did not know that this existed. And I know that it's touched by God. And for me, being on purpose is being exactly where God wants me to be, doing exactly what God has created for me to be right now in the right moment. And that's what I feel I am right now in the eight.
Okay. Well said. Well put together. Okay. The lady in pink, Miss Houston.
So, my purpose, boy, I'll tell you, it's heart wrenching for me because it's and I share my story every chance I get about, and I so like Utrena that I feel like not that I found Ada, but Ada found me. Ada found us, right?
Yeah.
But I've been on this good earth for 48 years, and up until my intake process, it was a process, and that process processed me. It has exposed some things to me that I did not know even existed within me. It has brought some things out. I have had some challenging moments, even through the process, that
Yeah.
exposed some characteristics of myself, or even exposed people or things that I probably were blinded about. And you probably say, how can a process do that? Because a process is a process, right? It walks you through a series of things.
Yes.
Um, and so I've learned, and gifts that I have within myself have been birthed, right? I'm a caring person. I'm the one that's going to, I'm a mender, not a bender. So I'm there to take care. I'm a caregiver. I'm about the emotions of others, and and I cover for my sisters. But it has also shown me how to say no, how to be that, to take care of Rosey first. I've taken care of my children. I've raised great kids, been married 28 years, uh, to an amazing husband, who encourages me even in the sorority. He doesn't, he loves my sisters like they're his sisters. But
Mm-hmm.
the Ada has allowed me to find some things about myself, and to make me do more self-care for myself. Um, and I got people that's now just recently, just Sunday, saying, I don't know about this new year, baby, get ready, because it's this only the beginning, right? So I'm excited about the future with my sisters and the continued growth. And as we bring in more sisters, that more of our purpose will be, it's only the beginning for me. I know that God has much more for me, even for my career path. So it is, it's only the beginning.
Okay. Okay. And so, this topic is eye opening for me as a male
Okay.
because I feel like a lot of our men, we say we understand, but we really confused.
Mm.
Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you don't understand, then and you have to study a woman like you're trying to obtain a PhD. Like, listen,
Oh my God.
listen. It's a whole marketing strategy, and it's a viral campaign for real. So if you miss one beat or miss something, then
Right.
it can all go left instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so she found her purpose. I want to know, how do women who have lost themselves
Mm.
find their purpose, and what does that new identity look like on them?
Mm.
Well, I mean, for me, I used to do, I found myself, and I have family members and friends. I got a lifelong friend. I'm just going to use one as an example. I have several. So I'm just going to use one for an example, that I'm constantly giving, but never, where's the return? So when you're praying and asking God to show you and to give you your own identity, then that you're able to, then your eyes, those masks are coming off, those blinders that's on your eyes are gonna come off, and you're recognizing that you're giving more to everybody else than you're giving to your own self. You got to take care of self. So it's much prayer, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, hurt will make you do it too. I mean, hurt will is a way of finding your purpose too. That you got to work your way through it to see that you got to take care of you.
Mm.
Amen. Some things will only come through fasting and praying, right? So I would, if I'm, speaking to, a person, if it's in this moment, what I'm thinking of right now, I'm probably going to learn a little bit about, what you've already been doing. Because sometimes it's not that you're not still on purpose or living out your purpose, right? Sometimes we have an idea that it's supposed to happen right now or it's supposed to have already happened. And our timeline is not God's timeline, right? And so we could very well be doing the exact thing that we're supposed to be doing, but we have to grow in our patience. We have to grow in our patience where we learn how to work and wait at the same time. And when I say wait for the maturation of the maturity of the thing that it is that you feel like should have happened already. But we cannot gauge whether we are on point, on purpose, if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing by what somebody else has already done. And I feel like instead of, you know, being focused on our own steps, a lot of times we'll let what man thinks and what man thinks you should have already accomplished. Man would look at my life and say, oh, you should already be surpassed Tyler Perry, right? I've written over 40 stage plays, and I've produced them. I produced them all, and I've still lived out my own level of success. And I would never say that I am not on purpose because I don't have a studio. I don't have a Tyler Perry studio, or I don't have $1 billion at this point, or $1 million at this point. I believe that we both are living out our true purpose in God, and it's not. He doesn't measure our success by things. What he has promised us is that we won't be in lack. Now, what you need, your measure of abundance may be different from my measure of abundance. Am I tracking with everybody? But it still does not mean we're not on purpose. And I think we should not quantify it by those types of things. Sometimes we get frustrated, and the word tells us not to get weary, right? Or not to be so weary, so distraught, so devastated that we quit. Because the very moment that you're getting ready to quit could be the very moment that you get the breakthrough that you think you want to have, right? So I measure, what makes you happy, and even when you're sad, you still want to do it. You still want to, go for it. I would ask that person that type of thing, those types of questions, and really, really dig into where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. And if you can still see it through the vision, you have somewhere else to go in this, then keep going. Keep going. You got a lot more of life to do. And so if I was talking to someone and I was, working to navigate them to a new place and purpose, I'd say revive, reset. That's something my apostle Jerome Gentry, he had this huge reset button on the stage, and that was, he did a series on resetting yourself, and I absolutely love that. And I go back to that a lot, even as I'm leading my team for Spectrum. I talk about resetting because in sales is a mental warfare. It just is. And after you hear so many no's, you got to fight against that thing. But it's something that I tell my agents all the time: reset. And resetting don't necessarily mean leaving this post. Maybe you've been coloring with red and it's time to change a different color and be inspired in a different way, but you're still on purpose. And it doesn't mean you're changing the page, right? You just may be changing positions a little bit.
Of course. So with that being said, can you give us the pronunciation of your sorority?
Yes. Eta Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay. And so, what is your vision statement and your mission statement? What does that look like?
So I'm gonna kind of combine them all into one, if that's okay. All right. And I believe that it's what's helped me the most. It gets me to my center and to my core. And our vision and our mission, what we want to do is we want to change this world. And how we want to change the world. We are about empowering through education. We're about empowering through service. We are about being inclusive. We don't want to leave or see anybody left out. And we
Hmm.
see a world where um, everybody, no matter who you are, because we're driven by the word, because we are a Bible-based sorority. And so we want to see a world, we want to be productive in a world where everybody is welcome to be who they are. We want to paint the picture that although we are Christians, we are all inclusive, and there is a place and a level of level of living in love, peace, and harmony for everybody. And I think meshed all together in a nutshell, that's what our mission and our vision looks like.
Okay. Okay. So, for somebody to join you, ladies,
Mhm.
what is that interview process like? What is that screening like?
Well, we are looking for, not to get too deep into the weeds, but we're looking for authentic women who um, are in sync with, of course, our faith, and then next want to again be a servant in the community, be a servant, um, not just in your local community, but all over this country, all over the world, having an impact that says me less, God more. The interview process, is asking questions about those types of things. And we would love, we have the beginning of the process is showing interest by going on our website at adaalphasorority.org and filling out the form saying you're interested, right? And then you'll have an opportunity to be invited to a private chat with us, and we get to know you. You get to know us. It's kind of like you check us out and decide if you want to check in, and we check you out and decide if we want to let you check in. So it's kind of like that.
So, do
I felt
you?
like you was wanting me to say something. I mean, keep talking, but that was my end of my point. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So, um, hey, Miss Rhonda Scott, how are you? Uh, hey, Miss Stephanie, how are you? Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tuning in with us. We're so grateful to
Hey,
have you present. And salute to you, ladies, as well. So, with that being said, is this a faith-based sorority?
um, it is a Bible-based sorority, and what I mean by that is, and so you could consider it faith-based, but what it is, I don't want people to lose or assume that okay, this is a space where you're so spiritually up here that you're no earthly good. We know that's a cliche, but there's some truth to it. So yes, yes, it is faith based. It is Bible based. We are Christian women, and we love to have fun. We got a drive to work, a drive to empower and inspire. So I would say that yes.
Okay. Okay. So, from that perspective, I'm going to ask you something, and I do want you to use your, how could I say, be open minded about it.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay. It's no biggie, but with you having a faith based sorority, has there been any males that stepped up and say, you know what? I think we should start a male chapter as well, but we need your help doing it. What does that look like for you if that happens? Or
Oh,
if
that
it
would be
ever
fine. Yeah, that would be fine. We have other organizations that we partner with from time to time. Just like the Divine Nine, they have opportunities where they partner together. I know for a fact at some point along our journey we will have quote unquote bros, right? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you are, decide to start a fraternity, definitely let us know. We'd be more than happy to, support where we can. And we encourage it. Listen, life is hard, right? So when you can get a group of people that are in sync with each other, that are unified for a cause, and is willing to do the work. Because I'm gonna tell you something, being a part of Ada Alpha Sorority Incorporated, it's not lightweight. We may be few in numbers, but we are a mighty force. And so I would just, I would definitely welcome that. We would welcome that. We're very supportive of other Greek organizations. So it's just
okay.
another day in our world. Mhm.
So with the women you interview, when they take a look at your bylaws
Mhm.
and they have to read those bylaws and understand what they mean, how
Mhm.
are those conversations when they have questions? Um,
Okay. Oh, well, we're extremely, transparent as we can. There's a process to this and there's levels to it. So you don't necessarily, as with any organization, come in day one and get all of the information, right? But we definitely give a wealth of information to help you to be able to make the correct decision, according to what it would be for you, right? So on March 13th, we will have our informational, and it'll be as on Zoom, via Zoom. And so women from all over the world will be part of that, all over our country, excuse me, will be part of that Zoom. They will have an opportunity to listen to the presentation, and then they'll have an opportunity to ask pertinent questions based on what they heard in the presentation, as well as maybe did not hear. There may be some things that I cannot answer at that particular time, because we are an organization and we do protect certain information from the public's eye at certain times, right? That's understandable with any organization. You don't just get to walk into Spectrum and get all of our corporate, secrets, right? There are some things that need to be unveiled at the appropriate time. However, the information that you do get is definitely pertinent. It's and very informative for you to be able to make the decision if you would want to, again, move forward with the process.
okay, okay. And so with that being said, how long did it take you guys to come up with the format and come up with, everything to really get it started to launch it?
Okay.
How many years has this been in the making, or how many months was it in the making? And when did you guys, see fit to come to that one common goal to launch and to go public with it?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked those questions. Those are really great questions. So we were founded actually in 2015. And our founder, our founding onyx, her name is Mila Lowry, and we are based out of Orlando, Florida. So that's our headquarters in Orlando, Florida. I came in, so this is really marking my going into what my second year. So to have the honor of being VP of membership is really remarkable for me. And it's just been an exciting time to be the piece that is being able to lead the way to add more women into their seats of destiny is truly been an honor. All right, so from the conception in 2015, prior to my line, National Line Kappa, shout out to Cover Girl Rhonda, shout out to Quiet Riot, and shout out to Fried Time. Stephanie is Quiet Riot, and Stephanie, and then Kayla is Prime Time. So that's the line that I came in on, and since then we've seen a tighter cohesiveness to the unit. We're growing leaps and bounds. Rosey, that was here, is she in the background? Is she? She must have some
No,
technical issues. Okay.
I think so. I think so.
Okay. So she's a part of National Line Lambda, along with her LS, India Maxton. And then prior to all of us is our sister, Deborah. And if you're on, what's up? Hey, sis. And so back to, back to the question. So that's how we started. It's been women that's been in the group. For us, you there you go.
Yeah.
Welcome
back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
She is. Okay, wonderful. So let me just put this in a bow for that question. So again, started in 2015, and here we are now. And what the initiative that I was fortunate enough to be able to place on my agenda for my first year as the VP of membership is Liberator. And basically what that is we're touring the United States, presenting brunch empowerment brunches and showcasing the best thing that Ada has to offer, showcasing who Ada is, what Ada is, and getting an opportunity to meet some really remarkable women. We will be in Alabama this coming Saturday, the home of Quiet Riot. Yes. And shout out to the women that's, taking out their time to register and who will be coming in. We have a very powerful speaker that's going to light the house up. The food is, from what I can tell and what I've heard, it is just amazing. The one in South Carolina, our very own Cover Girl cooked, and I mean, she had me in tears. That food was so good.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to shift a little bit.
Ooh, the mac and cheese. Okay, we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it.
God gave me a word. Like, he opened the heavens. I'm serious. Like, if you guys, I'm telling you, when y'all come to South Carolina, you don't need to get nobody else to cater and do your food but Rhonda Scott. I'm telling you, have her set up a table tasting for you. Mm-hmm. I understand all those things are important, but when I tell you that girl, it ain't even normal. Something wrong with her. That's all I gotta say. It's off the time. And I don't say this, and I don't. I ain't just saying it. I mean, I sister. Tell her, Rosey. I'm trying to tell you.
Them ladies was like, who made that macaroni and cheese? Who made them collard greens? We had real honey.
All of
them
it.
Yams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Lord. Them waffles. Oh my God. Yeah. Order you some macaroni and cheese. She'll take your order today.
Right. Child, make me want some right now. Let me walk down the street.
I hear you. So what's so interesting to me about the faith-based sorority is we just came out of pandemic. Mm-hmm. A lot of people lost people to COVID. A lot of people are not well.
Right.
Like Black people, we're good pretenders. Mm-hmm. A lot of us are not well, especially you men. We don't never want to go see a therapist ever. We rather go talk to a spiritual advisor. It's one thing to talk to somebody that's spiritual, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother thing to talk to somebody who is a trained professional,
Mm-hmm.
all type of doctorate degrees in uh, a behavioral specialist, a mental health counselor, a relationship therapist, um, you know, a family counselor. Cause a lot of people come from the toxic environment of family members, and it carries on with them through their adulthood. And
Mm-hmm.
so some of that needs to be talked about because how, it's like whether you're a man or woman, how are you going to marry somebody and have a long life with somebody if your mindset is toxic, damaged, and sometimes you don't even know whether you're coming or going. But in our black community, this needs to be talked about. And so with the faith-based sorority, what is your outlook on um, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and self development where people understand that they need to identify with themselves so they can do only one thing and one thing only, fall in love with themselves all over again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what is your take on that, Dr. Johnson and, you know, Miss Houston?
Okay. Listen, our take on it is God is not limited. He gives all of us something significant and something special.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't separate, I'll never take away from, being able to speak a word, because he can give a word of knowledge, right? He can give a word of knowledge, a word of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
He knows all things. He sees all things. He is omnipresent, omniscient. He's just here, right? But I would never, even in all of what I understand God, who I understand God to be, as well as my relationship with Him, I would never try to persuade somebody to come to me just because I'm an ordained elder. I would encourage them to definitely seek out, help through counseling. It helped me. After when Christian was murdered back in 2018, I definitely went um, to see a counselor, right? And at the end, and this is a true story, she said, "I'm trying to figure out how I can make it make sense for you to come back." Because when she was talking to me, she was asking me questions, and I was very honest about those questions because my source, I had been in the house. Speaking of COVID, I had been in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, for a minute. Now we know COVID came in 2020. I'm telling you my journey when I actually went ahead and went to counseling. So I had been in the house, and that's when I decided to go and talk to someone. And she had told me to separate myself, right? And just be still. And she gave me some techniques with that. She gave me some breathing techniques with that. Those things definitely helped me, and they still do. I still use those techniques. I still um, have an understanding based on what she told me during our segment, or during our counseling session, excuse me, that I refocus and recenter myself. And that's that word. She says to center myself. I still use those things to this day. And it's been a gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am one that leans a lot on talking to God, leans a lot on praying, leans a lot on, taking the scriptures that work for me and quoting them. And so those types of things help me, but that's not for everybody.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need someone who can peel those layers back.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need somebody who can really get in and challenge you, because not everybody is so willing to do the work.
Mhm.
And so we as an organization definitely encourage um, mental health is, as a matter of fact, while I'm on that, that is one of our areas that we definitely focus on. And amen, they both always pray for others. Thank you, boo. And
Mhm.
so that is one of those things that we definitely take seriously. Our
Mhm.
founder is huge on
Huge.
mental health,
Mhm.
huge proponent. She really is someone that really encourages um, mental health. So we don't get it twisted. You know, Rosey, her husband is a pastor,
Okay.
and Rosey
Mhm.
as a first lady, they see a lot, and I know she's gonna share with us
Ooh,
how
we
that works. Yeah, so she's
have
really
mercy,
the
have mercy.
expert
Mhm.
on
We
this
First
are no
lady,
situation.
experts. No experts.
that's
But
that's
you
that's
know,
gotta be a
it
strong
it
person to be a
definitely
first lady.
oh definitely. Yes. It takes a lot of prayer and definitely yeah, a lot of prayer. You can't be you be in a hot seat all the time. But speaking on that, just bouncing back off of Utrena about the mental health, and I was just gonna say, speaking from my husband is a pastor, she stated, and we deal with a lot of people and a lot of people's emotions, but you
Mm,
have to be careful. Everybody, you can feed them spiritually, but sometimes people need more than the spiritual piece. We can pray for them, we can anoint them down, you can talk to them till the walls go blue and give them scriptures to pray. But at some point, you have to recognize that they need the next step of some professional training, as Utrina stated, to
mm,
peel back. And that ain't, sometimes they think that the pastor is God himself, that he is supposed to be able to do that. No, we can cover
mm,
them and pray for them, but some things are outside of um, the us as you call us spiritual leaders. That you got trained professionals that are trained in those areas. I can give you your spirit, your spiritual part and pray for you, but and to lead you and guide you and be there for support. Been there, done that. In the last year, you
mm.
know, we've had someone that we've dealt with personally that had no clue what they was going through. They almost 60 years old and they've been carrying a burden
Oh wow.
for, since they was 8 years old, and
Oh,
it's coming out, we never knew about it, but it's coming out now. But what happened to them at the age of 8 has carried with them. Pastor can't cure that or heal that. We're glad to know and be there for you and refer you to some resources and be there to encourage and pray. But mental health is very serious,
yeah.
and yeah, it's very serious.
Right. So I'm really glad to see that the structure of your sorority can focus on mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's very important when you're trying to reach people.
Hmm.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. Because I noticed that, and I don't want you to get away from it. Like you mentioned about men, right? And
Yeah.
you mentioned about the state of men, and then you mentioned about the state of people and COVID and how it's impacted, us. And I just want to hear your perspective on have you. Let me go here because of the question that you asked. Are you finding that those that that's a part of your circle of influence or your circle period are that are in Christ, that are in church ministry, whatever kingdom, whatever buzzword
Mhm.
is being used, are you finding that they are stuck, right? And in need of something more deeper or more intimate. To
Well, to be honest with you, Dr. Utrena, I think whether it's a pastor, whether it's a professional athlete, whether it's a doctor, I think that most black men who walk on American soil are stuck somewhere mentally.
Mhm.
Maybe not now, but they have been once upon a time.
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
Because to walk on American soil and to deal with the cards that you've been dealt, it can be quite difficult mentally and emotionally. And a lot of times, a male can feel like, from the perspective that I see it, I don't feel like she will understand.
mm,
If you don't feel like the woman that carried you 9 months and could have died on the operating table giving birth to you will understand, then you're not going to feel like your mate or your spouse is going to understand. So it really takes some soul searching
mm-hmm,
with God to really help you come to the grips of, like, well, if I break it down to her this way and not the aggressive way as a male, because we taught from the jump that this is an aggressive world when you're a black man walking on American soil. So you have to have that defense mechanism up.
do you
But
feel that as a black man?
I
Mhm.
feel as a lot of times I do.
Mhm. That's
How do
Yeah.
interesting.
you navigate through that minefield?
Um, well, I've been able to navigate through that minefield by reading literature, just talking to older people who came through the '70s depression days, wh-
Mm-hmm,
which we would never be faced with. They was faced with, and
mm-hmm,
so to really see how my grandparents and my some of my friends' grandparents, like, they just was as happy as I've ever seen anybody in my life, and
mm-hmm,
they way more than we went through. So I put in my mind, if they can get through it and still keep a smile on their face and
mm-hmm,
still treat people how God would treat people,
mm-hmm,
then what are we complaining about when we almost got everything at our feet? And so, and that's really how I get through it. You know,
Mhm.
I can replay some of the conversations I had with my grandmother in my head about
yeah,
how life was going to treat me as a black man, but how you have to look at life for the positives and just let God move the negatives out the way. And so that's, like, those conversations from those older people, I feel like prepare me for life. And that's how I'm able to navigate in a way that most people don't understand. Like, be like, man, why, how that didn't bother him, or how did he just kind of, he said what he said, he just brushed it off, and the next day he don't even worry about it. Like
mm-hmm,
somebody said, we just talked about this today. I said, but today is a new day, so we have to move
Mhm.
forward. You know, if you let some stagnate your process or bound you down, then that takes over your emotional and your mental capacity, and it disrupts your spiritual awakening.
mm-hmm.
So I refuse to let anything disrupt my spiritual presence, no matter
Praise
what or
God.
who it is. I can't do it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I navigate through it.
I love that. You know, as Ada women, it is very important to us that our men are recognized and reverenced, right? It is very important, to us, not just for us as women to be celebrated, and but also our men. And so I just think you just sparked something. I don't know. I want to talk to my sisters, but um, sometimes I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say because it's so far off of this. We'll talk about that another time. But something that you said triggered something inside of me in the conversation that you had with your grandparents, and it made me think about how they were together. the communities were together. You know, now we're in the suburbs, we're everywhere right now. You know, we're always looking for the best communities to be in, right? To get away from, you know, the negative ills that plague other communities, right? So, but at that particular time, it was very few migrating out, right? So there was a level of unity. It wasn't an issue. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't an issue for somebody to knock on the door and say, "Hey, y'all got some butter? I got some sugar." You know, I'm dating myself, but it's the truth.
The village.
Now
Yes.
I would never go to anyone's door for any reason. Okay. I would, it's just too much fear. But at that time, neighbors were neighbors, right? My neighbor could whoop me. My neighbor could
and send you home, and you're gonna get another whipping.
Yes, and then personally, my mom was gonna get me because my dad would never. My dad whooped me one time my whole entire life, but my mom was the one that got me. Now he would get my brother, but my dad would not whoop me. He whooped me one time, and that's when I started a fire. But other than that, I guess he figured like, girl, I gotta get you for this one. But I bet you I ain't playing no matches no more. But the key to it is there was a certain level of unity that we don't necessarily have. And I think that's a piece of this too, you know, because as sisters, as part of the sisterhood, we are neighbors. And I know for a fact there is absolutely nothing that these women have gone through where they did not have the weight of every woman. And I mean, wanting to do it. It is so crazy, you know. And I'm grateful that I get to tell it. And I think wholeheartedly that's part of my purpose, that I get to tell you that thing that you've been searching for in terms of wanting to be interlinked with women that's not trying to eat like crabs in a bucket or crabs in a barrel, or you know, individuals that are jealous, and because of their jealousy they can't stand to see you progress, right? I just absolutely love that I'm able to not only be a part but witness the ascension of others, the progression of others, and it just be like, okay, let's go. Like, you know, what incredible thing did you do today? And just be happy about it. If you don't have that, you missing out. I'm trying to tell you right now, you missing out. And the process weeds those that are wearing that mask and want to pretend, the pretenders, that process weeds that out. It weeds it out. And I'm just like, I appreciate the favor of God. That's all I can say. I appreciate it.
I wanted to speak on them masks too.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that, you know, you speaking on, you know, that men don't know how to be, or they hide that from a woman. But do you know how many masks that we women have to put on to, you know, we the caretakers of the home. The men are providers, okay, but the women are the caretakers of the home. So we take on the children, we take on the husband, the children, the bills, making sure the clothes are washed. So as our day is progressing, when we get up in the morning, we putting on 1,000 masks, okay, literally.
That's true. This is true.
But we're hiding some of our inner feelings to spare your feelings. So, you know, at some point, both of our feelings gotta come. Them masks gotta come off between the two of us. So the men are the only ones that's going through these mask hiding events. So, you know, and as Utrena says, even through this process with Ada, those masks, when those masks are unveiling, those, yes,
mask cakes in there.
Mask come off. True identity shows, but you know, thank God that when my mask were removed with Ada, it revealed some beauty down deep inside of me that you know, it exposed some stuff for me. So I'm excited for, um, I'm still excited for the future that
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
only been, you know,
definitely.
my year anniversary is coming up soon, sooner than it seems
Yeah.
far off, but it's soon. But it's been a great journey, and I'm looking forward to many more masks being pulled off for the positive,
Mhm.
not for the negative. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, of course, of
Yes.
course. And
Mhm.
Yes.
and I'm glad you weighed in on that. Because women do carry a lot of weight. And
Hmm.
Mhm.
I tell my brothers all the time, man, the closest thing to death that I think a woman will ever see is when she's giving birth to a child. She don't know if she's
Hmm.
coming back home. She
She
don't
don't
know
know.
because there's been many women that have left this earth giving birth to a child.
Never. Hmm.
So I tell them that we have to honor our women. We try to we got to be grateful for our women because
Hmm.
you never know what they're going through mentally and emotionally and spiritually when they're trying to
Hmm.
bring another life into the world. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so, I'm I'm rooting for my brothers to have more
Mhm.
compassion, more understanding, and
Mhm.
and and to ask God to help them understand
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
you as a man you can't understand by yourself,
Mm-mm.
and that's facts. I don't care
Mhm.
what nobody tell you, you're never gonna understand it by yourself. You know,
Mhm.
what I mean? You need help with that. Just like uh, 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 a basketball coach teach that boy how to shoot a jumper, or you see that wrist in the action where that wrist flick over like that. Yeah, do you need help understanding? So, with that
Mhm.
being said, we're about out of time. I want you ladies to give everybody your social media handles where they can, connect with you at, follow you at, and give out your website, for the sorority so people can connect, not just females, males too, because there's some insight that
Absolutely.
some males can get as well.
Absolutely. It would be great if you would like to partner with us. We'd love to do a type of mixer, and a lot of single men. Bring a lot of those.
Okay. Just a lot of single men. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that single and married men can
We want
learn
both.
some
I didn't
stuff.
say a lot. I didn't say just only. I said a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I'm messing with
Okay.
you, but yeah, we definitely go bring
Yeah.
some.
That makes it sound good. Different workshops. Break them off in different sections and just let people get their thoughts out and what they
Mhm.
think and
Yeah.
have a Q&A session and
Mhm.
yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with you for real though, because that's definitely on the table to do another event to do at the at One Take events at Nora Hall too. So we'll
Okay.
talk about it. We'll definitely
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So
That's in
just
the
give
work.
everybody, yeah, give everybody your social media handle so we can get it. But I do want to say this. Um, this was an amazing episode tonight.
Mhm.
A lot of information, a lot of informative information, and a lot of impactful voices that came together to really talk about something of substance.
All right.
So
Thank
I
you.
definitely appreciate you ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Rosie, you want to go first?
You want the sorority or you want our personal? You asking the
You
sorority
can
website is Ada Alpha Sorority um, .com. I'm
.org.
sorry, .org.
.org.
I'm sorry,
Mhm.
.org. And then you can find us on Facebook as Ada Alpha Sorority Inc. is where we're located on Facebook. And my personal Facebook is Rose. You can find me as Rosie Roseman Houston.
Yeah.
okay, okay,
All
cool.
right. So thank you again, King Jacob, for allowing us to be a part and have chat in your chatter box. It was so much fun. I can't believe the hour is over. But guys, if you want to find us, definitely check us out at adaalphasorority.org. If you're interested in learning more about our organization, please take an opportunity to go to the website. There's a wealth of information there. there's an opportunity for you to click on the interest form and send us over your contact information. We will definitely reply to you and get you connected. March 13th is our informational, and that's an opportunity to be on Zoom with us. That's when we really get down into the nitty gritty about who Ada is, what we do, and what the opportunity means to you. And we will also allow you to ask questions at that particular time as well. So we are looking forward to connecting with whoever is out there listening and watching, whether it's now or on the replay. You can, again, contact us at adaalphasorority.org. If you want to find me, it's Utrena J, whether it's Facebook, UTRENAJ, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, you can find me, and LinkedIn. You can find me on that handle, Utrena J, UTRENAJ. We talked about my event center, and would definitely love to be able to allow you to present your event there. So definitely connect with me on one of those handles. Would love to talk with you. And Rosey, I guess we'll just keep on talking. You know what? If we had more time, I was definitely gonna ask King Jacob, to expound a little bit on when he was talking about he felt like when women are pregnant and they're giving birth, that's the closest to death that they ever come to. And we've heard that before too. And what came to mind was our vision, right? Birthing it and the turmoil we go through birthing that thing. So it made me think about one of his first questions. He was talking about purpose. A lot of times, women may find themselves in a difficult place, not thinking that they're on purpose, and they really are, and want to abort the baby instead of going ahead and seeing it to term. So I was gonna kind of like pick his brain a little bit when he had mentioned that. Where you go? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it kind of is just amazing that he said that tonight, because I had a friend that was here and was just sharing that same thing about, birthing a baby, and the baby is well. They thought, but the mama's not well. So, I mean, it's really factual that's the truth there.
Amen. When he said it, was like, oh, it was like one of them, like, leave me. It was like time is up.
I was gonna ask him about, did he feel like there's more resources for women than not for men? Because he, that was gonna be one of my questions to throw back at him too, about feeling as though that there may be more being offered to help women more, especially with the mental health and being, stuck in COVID. Is he feeling that, men are suffering more than women, or is it equal?
I wonder what he thinks for real.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about those masks, right? And and those are those layers connected to what I was saying. The counselors do have that a way of being able to get in there and pull those layers off. And nobody, whether it's male or female, should be afraid. If you can, have those conversations, you are in a position to get it done. Definitely get it done. I believe that our children, because we don't deal with certain traumas, I believe that our children inherit the aftermath of what we refuse to deal with. So now they not only got what's already was prescribed and assigned to them before they got here, but they're also taking on our issues because we didn't figure out how to balance ourselves out. So now they're dealing with the mean Utrena, the frustrated Utrena, the depressed Utrena, the hateful Utrena, the Utrena that just is in and on arrest, just not have no peace, Utrena. So we definitely need to take advantage of those options when they are presented to us when we need them.
Absolutely.
And a good sign to know, a good sign to know if you are depressed, if you deal with depression, seek out help. Don't stay in that dark place. Again, if you can get help, go for it. Get the help. It doesn't mean that you don't, believe. It doesn't mean that you believe God less. To me, it's just you're giving God thank you for the resources that He's presented to you.
And even recognizing the signs. I don't give the enemy any credit, but I feel, sometimes working from home is like you closed into the house. I found myself, and I had to. I was given a project in my leadership class of documenting what you've done in these, for the next 12 days. From your rising to your going back, to bed, and it really made me think about my day, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in this house every day, and the mailbox is not at my street. I mean, at the end of the driveway, like normal houses. In these new subdivisions, they put the mailboxes, like the apartment complex, community mailboxes.
Yeah.
And I don't even walk. So it's not even like I can walk outside. I can walk and walk down the street. But I, took note that, I was like, why do I feel gloomy and blue? Why do I just feel this? Girl, get up and go outside.
Yes,
and get out this house and get away from this computer.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's the ability to recognize those signs of anxiety and depression, early on. And so if people can catch it early, it'll be easier to deal with and address it and get healed from it, delivered from it,
Right. You really just said something. I was in the house for 2 years. I ordered my food. It was delivered, whether it be my groceries, fast food. I would go out to see my mom, church was online, everything. And I was afraid. I was considered high risk. And I just did not want to I did not want to get COVID. That was the boogeyman at that time.
Oh.
So I definitely was one of those people that definitely just stayed in the house. My peers, they were out there doing their thing or whatever. And but I was not. I was at the house, and I had a routine. I definitely had a routine. And when I came out of it, when I went to work in Columbia, because I went from working for Spectrum in the house to another, at-home job. And so when I went to Columbia, it was like, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, back to reality. But this is what I've been missing in the world. Yeah.
Exactly.
Our big managers came in town about 2 weeks ago, and they invited us to, a little happy hour on a Thursday, and then to come into the office. It was just Greenville people, but I was excited to put some clothes on.
I know, right?
I was like, true. Man. But I appreciate being at home. Don't take this away from me. I mean, I've been home pre-pandemic, so. But it does feel good to be in a mix of people.
It does.
Every now and then. So it's good for your soul. It really is good for your soul. So
it does.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you got to hang out with your peeps.
Yes.
I'm glad. My VP was saying something about, we were talking about working from home, and I told him I'm not an advocate for like, oh, I want to go work from home. Being in our position, I feel like it could be an incentive. If you need to work from home, you got that, leeway to be able to do it. But I'm pretty cool on. The perfect position for me is to have an option if it's just one of those days where I feel like I could benefit from being at home, but it's still an in-house position or whatever.
Right.
To me, that's the perfect world for me to be able to have that balance. Because Lord knows, every day that it rained, I would be home.
Yeah, listen, as you say, girl, listen. It's gonna get cold later this week. I'm gonna be in the house.
In the house, in the
In
house.
the
So,
house, yes.
well,
Well,
listen,
this
I
has
think
been
I'm gonna
great.
sign off. I'm sorry. Go
Yes.
ahead. Say that
I know.
again.
I was just telling you, this has been great.
Yes.
So yeah. So can't wait to look at the replay.
Me too. Me too. Listen, guys,
Yeah.
thank you so much for tuning in to Chatterbox podcast with King Jacob. We're going to sign off for him, give him a shout out for being such an advocate for others and their visions. I'm an advocate for the people, for men, and their status in this world, for families, for communities. We need more King Jacobs in this world. And thank you so much again for allowing Ada Alpha Sorority Incorporated to be in your presence, to be on your platform. You guys have a wonderful night. It is our prayer that you are successful in whatever you do. So until the next time.
Good night.
Good night.